I know we've asked you about Bobby so many times, and you've seen him a few days now. What stands out to you about him?
Consistency. Puts himself in position to win a lot. Just experience, just a seasoned operator. He doesn't make things hard on himself.
With Cortland, Jonah, and Bobby, do you see them being able to shift inside if necessary, or can all three of them have that versatility, or a couple of them more suited?
I think that versatility exists more with Jonah than the other two.
What is it about Jonah maybe that makes him able to handle that? More?
He's just a little bit of a thicker body, maybe a little bit more of a guard body. Cortland and Bobby are a little bit longer, leaner guys. Yeah. When it comes to the kind of physical nature and the amount of mass you have to block on the interior, I think he's a little more adept to do that.
Some might think with Bobby being a 2-year starter and coming in here that he'd have a spot waiting for him. Are you making him earn it, or what's the approach with him?
So you got a spot waiting on him? You already got him penciled in.
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay. Well, listen, every spot is up for competition. I know it sounds cliche, but it's just the way it is. I mean, we got to play the best 5. I've had years where I played more than 5 because they were playing at a pretty high level. That's been less than not, but all 6 of those guys right now at the top are operating at a really high level. Mason Murphy's really coming on. Gino Quinones really coming on. So we're building a little depth behind them, and that's what fall camp is all about. We're grading every practice, every rep we take, and we'll make decisions as we get closer to game time.
Gino's a guy we didn't hear much about the last couple of years. What's really jumped off the field for him to you?
I think just experience and learning to play the game. It's slowed down for him, and he's really strong. He's intelligent. He plays with a mean streak. I really like him. I think he's got a chance to be a good football player for us.
Obviously, Bobby has a lot of experience, having played as long at Virginia as he did. But having missed spring, can you tell there's a little bit of disconnect there, or does the experience kind of step in?
I think there's a little bit of disconnect sometimes, scheme-wise, just trying to pick it up, and when it's moving full speed, like, oh yeah, But technique-wise, I mean, there's not a lot of disconnect. That's where a guy like that just, again, he just puts himself in position to be successful a lot.
How have you and Brett kind of worked where he's got to know everything about the offensive line and kind of see what you're seeing?
Yeah, the center is a special position. It really is, and you've got to see everything. You've got to see, defensive line alignments, linebacker alignments, safety and corner alignments. When you're trying to get the IDs right, put us in the right position to be on the right people. So Brett is really smart. He studies it a lot. We spend some extra time together, along with a couple of other guys at center, just going through a lot of those things. But overall, man, he's been really sharp. He's been coached well before me too. He's an intelligent kid. He's into it. He wants to be good, and that kind of passion, desire. He's not going to leave a question unanswered.
You obviously knew coming in that Voorhees was a key guy for you, but working with him, going through these last months, what stood out to you about him and just his veteran presence?
Well, I think the best thing that he's done is he's continued to get better, and he hasn't just said, "Oh, I've arrived, I'm here, here I am." I mean, he's working on little things every day, and he's improving his game every day. And so when your older guys, the younger guys, see your older guys pressing to get better, and even the veteran guys around him see him pressing to get better, that's leadership when it comes to a 5th-year, 6th-year senior, whatever he is. Because a lot of guys get in that role, and they lose their passion and desire for it, or they trick themselves into thinking they've arrived, and that's not Andrew. Andrew's continuing to press and get better every day. So I appreciate that leadership out of him.
You see anything from the defensive line? Any guys stand out on that side of the ball that you're going against every day?
Yeah, man. I'm not going to single anybody out, but I will say,
Coach.
I'm not going to. I will say this: I've been impressed with the defensive line over the first 4 practices. They're doing a nice job. They're playing really hard. They're flying around, they're running to the football, and they're executing. I think they're executing at a higher level what they're wanting to get done just through 4 practices than maybe they did all spring. So that to me is encouraging.
How well do you see the running game complementing the passing game with this offensive line?
Well, I think anytime you get a group of explosive receivers like we have, you're going to get into some situations where you're going to get favorable blocks as you run the football because you got to go cover those guys. And when that happens, that's a complementary part of the offensive line and the run game. And vice versa, at times we'll run the ball well enough that we'll get those guys one-on-one opportunities down the field. So that's just kind of the ebb and flow of offense. But we've got to just continue to execute well in the run game and make it a weapon for our offense. Thank you. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, you too.